Hey everyone, today we'll be working with React Native and we will be working with a specific library which is React Native Quick Actions, which allows us to use app shortcuts in Android and Quick Action in iOS. So pretty much what we will be doing is create a shortcut on an app icon for both Android and iOS, which will be the create item, for example. You can, of course, create other actions, and the idea will be that you can long press your app icons, both Android and iOS, and get a menu where you can select these actions. And after that, we'll be redirecting your app to a specific screen, for example. Okay, so let's go. So now we have here an app, which it's a simple one where I'm just saying demo about app icon shortcuts. We have here our terminal, and this is pretty much, yeah, a simple app. And now we will add here the shortcuts in the app icon so that we can listen for the callbacks that are called and then do what we need to do in our app. So for first of all, I want to install here. Maybe we can also get it from here. So this is the library that we will be using, React Native Quick Actions, and I will install it. So now we do install save app React Native Quick Actions, and there's just a couple of things that you need to do. So first of all is you need to import this code into your iOS folder. So into the app delegate, we need to import it here. First one and the second one. So this is the import that you need. Be careful because you need to put it outside these ifs, otherwise you might get a not working app. So yeah, here it's okay. And then here also you need to put it after the if and before the end so that it's also loaded every time. And these are the changes that you need to do on the iOS side. And for the Android side, you don't need to do anything, so you can skip the rest pretty much. I am using a React Native, an updated version, so latest version or so. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And the rest we will do in our code. So now I have the library installed. So now I can start to use it. And pretty much on your app, you need to do, because it's the first screen, so to say, that opens, right? Here I would imagine that you have some navigation stuff that goes to one screen or the other, etc. For now it's really simple, but on your main app entry point, you should have something similar to these. So we should run on the first time, so we put an empty array, and then there's a couple of things that we need to do. First of all, one is to, when the app is in exit mode, so not running in background, you need to pop initial action. So that's one of the things that we need to do. And for when the app is on background, we need to listen for an event. So pretty much that's it. So now what I will do is I will add quick actions, and from here I need to import it like this, quick actions from, and now we need to do, from React Native Quick Actions. And here I will create the shortcut items. So it's an array because you can have multiple ones. And here I need to specify, let's just specify one, but let's do create item, for example. So I will create here a const create item shortcut or so. And let's say this one will be create item. Of course, you can create whatever you want. So now the type will be create item shortcut. So you would have something for all of them that you want to add. Now the title, I will say create item. Then you have also the possibility to put a subtitle, but it's optional, so you can remove it, the whole thing, but then you don't have a subtitle. But here I will say redirect directly to create item screen, for example. So yeah, that's it. And then there's also an icon that we can specify. So create item will be the icon that I will be creating. And then there's also the user info, which you need to specify, but I will just put a dummy thing because I will not be using it. But yeah, you can specify this user info also, and here they are expecting it, so I'm just putting some dummy stuff. But typically I think this is enough, right? You create the type, then you will listen for the type, then you have the title so that you can show it, so that they can show it on the shortcuts when you long press the app icon, and the subtitle and the icon should be sufficient. And then from here you do whatever you need to do, like you listen for the create item shortcut, like create item, and then you do what you need to do. So now we have the shortcut items, and I think, yeah, you can create them dynamically, and also there's a possibility to do it statically, but I don't use it because it's only used on iOS. Through the library, you can only use it on iOS, so I think this is pretty sufficient for when you want to do whatever with shortcuts. So you just do it dynamically, you create the whole thing here, and then that's it. So now what I will do is I will do the quick actions, and then there's this pop initial action. Okay, so this is, so now first we are setting the whole thing, and now I'm doing for the case where app is in exit mode. So we didn't happen, it's not in background basically. So this is the way you need to do it, because you didn't add a callback to the event, right? Because it's in exit mode, so that it's not running the call, it's not set the subscriber, so to say. So you will not listen for that. So that's the way you do it. So you pop the initial action, and then there's the then, where you will get an item, right? And this is it. So on the item, I will say process shortcut or so. And I will send an item here. And then, of course, you can also take a look into the catch and the error, which I will say console log something went wrong. Here, I would say you want to show a pop-up or something like that, saying you cannot redirect to create item, for example, right? Create item. So yeah, for now I will just, this shouldn't happen, right? But in case it happens, and since the API expects you to handle the errors, I think that's a nice way to handle it in your apps. So you can do that. And here I will create the const process shortcut, and this one will be a function which will receive the item, right? So, and this item as a type, which you can get in here. So this will be shortcut item. And of course, you can then do shortcut item here. And then I would say, let's start to process them, right? So if the item dot, and then I would say type equal create item shortcut, then you will do something, right? I will console log the whole, first I will say item, then I will do console log item, and here I would say that we should redirect to create item in this case, of course. create item screen, for example, right? So here, what I would suggest, like if you have a full-fledged app, what you would do something here would be, for example, to have an action um, that triggers to your Redux store, right? That will say, that will specify a flag to redirect, right? So why you should do that way, I think it's a nice way to do it because, for example, if your user didn't log in still, right, or you need to re-log in for some reason because they log out first, you can just specify the state with some flag, like a boolean, right? This would be a boolean to say like, okay, redirect to some specific screen, and then the user clicks here, long press on the app icon, create item, and then you specify that Redux store flag, and then of course the user logs in, and then when in the first screen after the login stuff, right? You would say like, okay, now listen for this flag. If this flag is true, or any other flag like create item or create whatever you want to do, you would say like, okay, now redirect, and then set the flag to false. So that way you can control when the redirect happens. And so, for example, typically you would have a first screen, right, that where you will check the login. If the user is logged in, you redirect to one screen. If the user is not logged in, you redirect to the login screen. And it's exactly there where you need to do this check. So for example, imagine that you start with the login because the user is not logged in. Then after the login, you will redirect to the items list, for example, right, screen. And in that screen, then you would check for this one. And if you have a create item screen that you can redirect to, then you would redirect to that one. So then the user can log in still if it's not logged in. Otherwise, if it's logged in, I would assume that you will already redirect, for example, for the create item, for the item list screen, right? So then exactly there, you are already checking to see the flag. So and then you redirect to the create item screen. So that's, I think, a good way to handle this stuff. So now the only thing that we still miss is we need to specify a callback for an event. So here we have the device event emitter, and we add a listener, and the listener will be listening for quick action shortcut. And here we can specify the callback that will be called every time we receive that event with the shortcut item. So here what you will do pretty much is the same thing. So you just process it, right? So this case is for when the app is in background or is running in the background. So the app is still open, but you went to Google Chrome or something in another app in your phone. So this one will be the one called. And this will work for both iOS and Android. So yeah, pretty much that's it. The only thing we also need to do here now is return something, which is a function, which will be called on when we, pretty much get rid of app screen as a whole. So here I want to do device emitter, then there's the removal listeners, you can do this, and then there's also the quick actions where you can clear the whole shortcuts. So yeah, just tear down basically of the whole thing that we set up before, right? So yeah, with this you can now start processing everything. So I will do npm run start, and then I will do iOS, I will do pod install, and then after that we will start all of them. So now you see that we are installing this one, They are in quick action. So now everything is installed. So I will go back and just do npm run iOS. And here I need to do npm run Android. So all of them will be running, and then we should be able to see the whole thing working. Let's see. Okay, so now the apps are running, right? So what I want to do is also make here a distinguish. So I will do console log pop initial action, and then also have another console log so that you can distinguish between them. Let's say quick action shortcut. Cool. So now we should be able to go here. I will remove this one screen. Now the app is running, right? So I will put it on the background on this one. So I will do this. Now you see the create item here, right? No image still, but we will work on it. And then if I click it, you will see that now you are on the app again. Then you have the whole item there, and the redirect to create item screen. It's there, right? I'm not seeing this one which we added now. Let me just restart. Okay, cool. So I see that now if I go back, if I do this, create item. So let's put it on the background. Now if I go here, create item, now we see quick action shortcut. So because it's on the background, so we are listening on the events, right? And then we have the item, and then of course redirect to create item screen. So that's, yeah, you would listen for this one and do your redirect in your app. And of course I can also kit the app and do the same, create item. Now we should see pop initial action. So that's the difference, right? And now the other stuff is the same, and it will behave the same, redirect to the create item screen. So it should happen the same here. So I will just put it on the background, get the app, create item. Now we see quick action shortcut. Makes sense because we are listening for the events. Now if I kill the whole thing and get the app again, create item, then I see something different, which should be the pop initial action. So pretty much it works for all of them. Now let's add the images. So on Android, I have the images prepared already. So for Android, you just need to go to the app inside Android folder. Then you go to main, resolution, res. Then here on the drawable, let me just minimize this a bit so that we can get it. Here I just need to drop this one, create item. The name needs to be the same as this one, and as you see, if you don't have the icon, pretty much they don't show anything. So now I have that for Android, and this is it. And then I need to go to Xcode. So let's open Xcode, because for iOS you need to load them through Xcode. Let's wait a bit. So on Xcode I want to open a project or file. Then I'm in the app icon shortcuts, and then you need to go to iOS, app icon shortcuts, and select the project, this one, right? This one here, and you open it. Now you should see images here, and you see the app icon, which you can also change, but now you need to right click. So inside images, you right click here, new image set, and you will see these stuff. Now you just need to get your images on the right place. So the 2x, the 3x, and the normal one. And then you need to, pretty much everything is done. So now you need to kit the whole thing. So now I'm removing the apps from the phone, removing the whole thing. So, and here I need to do something like this. Okay, uninstalling the whole thing. Now we have everything uninstalled, so now I will do npm run iOS and then npm run Android. npm run Android, and yeah, after the whole app is reinstalled completely and also deleted before from the device, then we should see images there. So for Android is already working, but for iOS, I forgot here, we need to do create item because the name needs to match, right? And here when I added it, it was only image. So you need to do that. And after, we can run indeed iOS. And let's see already on Android working. So if I press here, we see the create item image there. So now we have the image and also the create item. And if I click, of course, it opens and shows here the correct the redirection. So on Android we are good. Now let's see on iOS, successfully built the app. So now we should see something there. Okay, let's kill the app. We don't need it. And if I do this, now I see the create item. I think that the color doesn't matter because they will always use this blackish thingy. So, but yeah, I never tried it to make it work with a colorful image. I don't know if it works or not, but I think maybe they do replace this with always with a black image. So, but yeah, pretty much that's it. So if I click now on create item, then we have the demo about app icon shortcuts. And again, about this one, I think probably it's kind of, yeah, I don't know, because the remove apps is red, but maybe this is kind of default behavior on iOS. I'm not completely sure. And pretty much that's it. So now you have everything working and ready for you to add some shortcuts in your app icons for both iOS and Android. Cool, so now I think you know everything about quick actions and how to implement them in your apps. So use your imagination and make your apps a little bit better with these quick actions. And of course, if you like to watch content like this, please consider subscribing because you will get notifications about new content and also because it helps grow the channel. Feel free to share your thoughts and questions in the comments down below. Till next time, keep in the loop.